MAGA is done. Have you noticed that they haven't been around much at all? There's a couple of reasons for this. The most obvious is that Trump doesn't need them anymore. He literally doesn't need MAGA anymore. There will be no more rallies. He used them and got everything he needed from them. He doesn't need them anymore. He is done with MAGA. And MAGA is in the corner quietly crying because they're done with him. And you want to know why? Because MAGA are food stamps. Yeah. Probably one of the biggest recipients of SNAP, food stamps, welfare, MAGA. Oh, and how about the no taxes on tips and no taxes on overtime, MAGA? That wasn't in the bill. That's not in the bill. That is not on the agenda. They keep telling you that it is, but it's literally not. MAGA are poor. MAGA need Medicaid. MAGA no have Medicaid. Soon. Tariffs hurt MAGA. MAGA no like tariffs. MAGA are farmers. Farmers are MAGA. Farmers hurting. MAGA hurting. Trump is canceling federal programs. A state like California where I live, they can afford to pick up the tab for those programs for the state of California. But states like Oklahoma, no. They're not going to be able to afford that once Trump kills those federal programs. MAGA no like that. But Trump don't care. Trump no like MAGA anymore. Trump no need MAGA. Trump no more MAGA rallies. So what's MAGA going to do to change this? That's up to them because me no care. Trump no care. You no care. MAGA are on their own.
Okay, so do you want to know how badly MAGA got played here? All right, so they voted for the convicted felon because they wanted prices to go down, because we were spending way too much money, and that's why inflation was so high, because Biden's policies were just that bad. Okay, so they voted for a convicted felon, and we are well into August. We are into August. Have you seen grocery prices lately? They're only getting more expensive. Gas is not getting cheaper. And now we've added $4 trillion to our deficit so that the richest can get another tax break they don't need nor deserve, and so that all these people in red states that are on Medicaid are going to lose their health care. Oh, also, we need to spend $100 million on a plane that was given to us so we can retrofit it so the fat convicted felon can ride on it. And also, we're going to spend $200 million on a ballroom that we don't need and put it on the side of the White House so that it's going to change the look of the most iconic building in the history of the world. But yeah, voted for those prices and that border. You got played. You're dumb. Fools. Stupid. You got played.
I am in so much shock with the amount of Latinos for Trump that are now coming out saying we feel so backstabbed, we feel so betrayed, we feel used now that our families are being deported even though they're not criminals. You didn't feel that way when Donald Trump was talking about the Mexican families that he was going to be deporting. You didn't feel that way when he spoke about other minority groups that he was going to be deporting. But now that it's affecting your family, your uncle, your cousin, now you want to cry about it? Now you want to cry crocodile tears?
What's up, good people? Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're doing great. So, um, what we are seeing happening today in America is a great lesson, especially for ignorant white people. And above and beyond that, is just a very important lesson for all the people when it comes to, matters politics. That politics is often a dirty game, and it's a game in which, especially in a world of today that is founded upon capitalism, toxic capitalism. Politics is a game in which people are, it's a man-eat-man society, creates a man-eat-man society in which the rich are always ready to sacrifice and use poor people as pawns to get anything and everything, at their expense. Look at what is happening in America. People that are crying the most are not the people that are used to crying, because they are white people, white businesses, small white farmers, small white businesses, because of the policies in which most of them, white MAGA, thought it was going to benefit them. But now, after realizing that they were just being used as pawns in a game in which the rich are trying to just use them to gain for themselves, and now they're realizing the truth. Let's continue to watch this a little, and we'll be back.
First and foremost, I think that the MAGA group has realized that now they have actually fucked us in America. Call it what it is. They've put a 34-count convicted felon in office, a sex offender in office, someone who sold us out to Elon Musk, someone who sold us out to probably China, because you got to remember, he does a lot of business in China, And I think that the MAGA group has just kind of come to terms that they fucked up. I mean, that is what it is. Don't get mad at me. Now, I've said this for a long time. I'm only regurgitating what I see on all these devices over here that you people can't see, is from news outlets and reports and all this stuff that the MAGA base is kind of scratching their head like, we might have fucked up. And I think you did. But listen, you learned your lesson. If Donald Trump Jr. wants to run, or some other bullshit Trumper wants to run the other way, okay? So I understand you guys made a mistake. I know you'll get pissed when you see this, and that's okay. Now, we may get some hate comments for that, but I love them and I endure them. So, look, MAGAs, we appreciate what you thought you were trying to do, even though we knew better, because it's kind of common sense. So, see ya, MAGAs. Thanks for fucking us up.
From beekeepers to soybean to hay producers, all of them are starting to say, I never thought that voting for Trump 3 times would result in me losing tens of thousands of dollars. A beekeeper out of North Carolina says, yeah, I proudly voted for Trump all 3 times. I flew flags for him and put signs for him in the yard. But now I'm out tens of thousands of dollars due to lost federal funding and tariffs, so I cannot export my products, my honey and my wax, to other countries like I could before, and nobody's buying it in the United States. Hay producers in Idaho and Utah that export alfalfa hay to China are now seeing 135% tariffs put on their product, and all of a sudden, they don't have anywhere to ship it. They held it all winter in hopes of sending it off to China in the spring, and now China's not willing to buy. Soybean producers are once again being hit harder than they were in the first Trump administration.
I think a lot of you guys that voted for Trump and are now regretting it or changed their minds, whatever, a lot of y'all keep defending him because you would much rather act like you didn't do anything wrong instead of owning up to it and saying, you know what, I made a mistake, I messed up, I wasn't doing my research, or I was lied to, I felt blinded, whatever it is. Instead of coming on here and saying that, you would much rather keep defending this man because it's what's going to make you feel less guilty. It's going to make you feel like what you're standing up for is the right thing, when in reality you know that it's not, and you know that you messed up, but you'd rather just continue like nothing is going on because you'd rather turn a blind eye to what's going on rather than have to own up to your shit and say, I made a mistake. Because y'all's pride is up here. It's full. Let go of that pride. Let go of the ego. And just admit that you made a mistake. And that's fine. People make mistakes. We're not perfect. I don't think that everybody who voted for Trump is a bad person. I think a lot of people either didn't have the right information. They were ignorant.
I was just on a conference call with some Latin groups, and one of them was Latins and Hispanic for Trump. They had the audacity for me to ask me would I make some videos to try to get the black people to come to the Latino side on a protest against Donald Trump and what he's doing to the Latin people in Los Angeles. And now Donald Trump is asking for the governor of California to be arrested. And I'm on the phone, I'm listening to these people. And so one of my friends, what's up, Swole? Are you going to help us? I told him no. I said, you the same person last year welcomed me because I was back in Harris. You the same person. You are the same people that voted for this man. Millions of Latin and Hispanics voted for Donald Trump. The black community is not helping y'all. I'm not helping y'all. I'm not protesting. I'm not doing no videos or anything like that. For the Latin community and for the Hispanic community that was backing Donald Trump, this is y'all problem. It's not our problem. And no, I'm not making any videos for any Hispanic or Latin protests against Donald Trump. Y'all voted for him. He's y'all problem. Y'all go ahead and protest and do whatever y'all got to do. But I'm sorry, black people are not getting. We're not getting involved with this. You voted for the wrong person. Now live with it.
Black people are tired of being a bank where everyone keeps making withdrawals and no one ever makes a deposit. And I want you to think about that. If that was your setup, would you still want to give? Especially for those of us in the Hispanic community, because it's about patterns that we've inherited and the harm that we've ignored. Me, myself, I'm Puerto Rican. I've seen how anti-blackness and colorism still show up in our homes, in our language, in our media, in our families. In many families, darker skin is treated like a disadvantage. When solidarity is needed, hesitation shows what's been internalized, and too many of us were raised to believe that aligning with blackness meant losing something: safety, opportunity, acceptance. And we were taught the proximity to whiteness would protect us, that staying quiet was safer. So if we don't unlearn that, we end up repeating the same harm we say we stand against. So disengagement is not okay. What's happening to immigrant communities right now is devastating. I'm not taking away from that, and it does deserve compassion and support. But a good portion of that fear didn't come from distant forces, and it came from within our own communities. I've spoken out because I've watched people I know support systems that were never created for us to begin with. Systems that weren't designed to protect us, only to use us when it's convenient. So while I've raised my voice, I also know too many that have stayed silent, or worse, they chose power. We don't get to ask for empathy if we're unwilling to confront the harm our silence helped protect. And contrary to popular opinion, holding each other accountable isn't betrayal. It's how we begin to heal. So to the black women and men that are saying we've poured into everybody and got nothing back, you're not wrong. You've carried movements, you've carried communities, you've carried generations without rest, without complaint, without question. And we cannot undo the silence that already has happened, but we can take responsibility for what happens next. I think people are not realizing we have way more similarities than differences, and we have more power together than we do apart. So look to your black brother or sister, look at them and say thank you, and I see you. It's simple as that. Strike up a conversation, get to understand, because that's all they're asking for, to be seen and to be appreciated for all they do.
You know what's crazy to me, bro, is when they had the BLM protest, everybody was popping out. Every celebrity, YG, the Ball brothers, everybody was popping out. Where's that now? Where are the celebrities now? Where are they protesting now? Where are the teams now? Why is nobody speaking up? Even Kendrick Lamar made a song. Lil Baby made a song. But where's everybody now?
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Where's J-Lo? Where's Bad Bunny? Where's Maluma? Where's Shakira? Talk to your own people, because J-Lo was just up on the pulpit at the inauguration doing this.
Y justicia para todos. Let's get loud.
No matter what happens in this country, everyone under that POC umbrella always finds a way to put the focus back on black people. Obviously, we understand what's going on right now with the ICE raids that are going on in America and Los Angeles, to be specific. But there have been a lot of Latino people coming online asking about black celebrities and black people showing up and comparing this event to BLM. Now, don't get me wrong. We were home during the pandemic. People had no jobs. People weren't in the office. And yes, black people, black celebrities, black businessmen showed up for black people. corporations and teams that had black people on them showed up for their black constituents and their black workers. As it currently stands as demographic, there are more Latinos in America than there are black people. And half of that population voted for what's going on right now. Speak to your own population. Stand up for yourself with each other. Talk internally about how you're so disjointed between the Central and South Americans and the Caribbean people in the East Coast. Talk to each other. Why are you looking for black people to put you guys on a pedestal and go fight for you when this is also your fight, primarily your fight? Black Lives Matter was our fight, but we speak up for ourselves. We also speak up for everyone, and we did it the most with our vote. And even though black people are saying this is not our fight, we're sitting this out, we're doing all these things like resting, there are several ways black people are showing up by not supporting Starbucks, by not supporting Target, by not supporting any company that put out DNI, by boycotting, by using our voice like I do. There's so many ways that black people still will always show up for ourselves in this country. And when we show up for ourselves, guess who benefits? Everyone else. Reach out to your fellow Asians. Reach out to your Middle Eastern Arab people. Reach out to the large Russian population that's in LA, the Armenians, the Persians. There's so many immigrant groups that live in this city, but you want to single out black people.
Y'all Latinos are choosing to be combative with black Americans because y'all getting shipped the fuck up out of here. And at first we were like, okay, we ride with you, but not physically. We're not riding with y'all physically. But showing up to a Juneteenth celebration is ultimate disrespect. Showing up to what we celebrate, y'all ain't fight. Y'all did not fight to be in this country. Now, we do know there is a history of the Mexicans allowing said slaves to come over. And then you guys teamed up. But make no mistake, you all have aligned yourselves so fucking hard with the Trump supporters that you think that you can deflect on us. Check this out. I'm glad that I wasn't at the Juneteenth where y'all showed up, because I would have been snatching y'all motherfucking signs down. Yeah, snatching y'all shit down. Because guess what? Y'all got blessed with businesses that we couldn't get blessed with. Y'all go and hate on us to HR. Y'all on the contract sites, on the sites deep reporting us. So now it's your motherfucking turn. Deal with it. Stop coming for us, because this smoke y'all do not want. I don't give a fuck how many of y'all get on here talking about, oh, this, that, and the third. We don't give a fuck at this point. You showing up to our celebrations. You have never taken the time to understand what the plight of the black person is. But guess what? Your lifestyle is funded by us. We fund everybody's motherfucking life. From the Asians to the Hispanics to the Middle Easterns. Y'all come in our hoods, y'all set up, y'all act funny, and then you think that you should have the entitlement not to get your ass kicked out of this country because you're not here on the right circumstance. Hey, we can't help that we was incorporated into the Constitution. We cannot help that they cannot seem to get it right when it comes to us. But make no mistakes. Y'all not the only ones getting deported. Y'all not the only one getting ISIS raids. But guess what? We kicking back. We drinking our water. We minding our business. Don't show up to our motherfucking events, because it's going to be a problem. I'm so happy that I was not there, because I would have been tearing y'all motherfucking signs.
Man, stop trying to convince these people that we need to stand together and all that. They ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. They've been betrayed so many times, bro. 1877, after federal troops pulled out of the South, bro. Betrayed. 40 acres and a mule, betrayed. You feel me? Jim Crow betrayed, redlining betrayed. Every promise that this country has made to them has been a false promise. And now we need y'all to stand with us while we march. Leave them people alone. They ain't trying to hear that shit. They ain't trying to hear that shit because they know how prevalent racism is in our community. And they know how y'all talk about them when they ain't in the room. And they know that now y'all got y'all N-word wake up. Didn't y'all? Y'all got that Paul Mooney N-word wake up call. And now y'all want to scream unity and solidarity. Nah, bruh. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. The people that have been working together will continue to work together. The people that have empathy for your plight and your situation will continue to have empathy for your plight and situation. But don't try to convince people to come join your side. Like, it's always been. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're trying to survive their damn self. They're trying to figure out how this man is about to get rid of the 13th and 14th Amendment and strip them of citizenship. What, you don't think they know what time it is? They got to deal with their own shit. I'm just saying, I see a lot of videos where people are like trying to convince, Black Americans that they need to stand side by side with Black and brown unity, but when it's something that doesn't benefit us, we ain't screaming that shit. Yeah, get mad. Go ahead. You know I'm fucking right.
Now, this is what is happening. The silence of Black people in America is worrying these people, is worrying the palm coloreds. And they should know that the only reason why Black people have not panicked is because they knew this was coming. They warned you against voting for Trump. They warned you against buying the lies of making America great again, making America first again. But you didn't listen because you thought being white is immunity to everything, until you realize that the lies that you are buying from these people cannot really help you, cannot sustain you. Now, you see, we've been coming across a lot of videos in which white farmers are either losing their lands, losing their crops rotting, losing their businesses, and, they're acting all surprised, or they're actually heartbroken, and they're coming out to even apologize and, take responsibility of the mistakes that they did by electing this very regime to the White House. Because look, small white farmers have been rendered out of business because, first of all, the first thing that they started by doing is deportation and getting USID. And this has actually been benefiting those small white farmers. But I don't know if they did not foresee this, they did not think about this before. But the moment the immigrants were being abducted out from the streets, from the farms, and from those businesses, and they were getting detained, and others were just too afraid to even come outside of their homes, it only meant one thing to those white farmers, that there was shortage of labor. Maybe they thought maybe Black people are going to come out to work in their farms. To their shock, white people are not bothered. White people are just minding their own businesses and telling them, hey, we knew this was coming and we told you. And, now they have lost food, they have lost their monies, they have lost the capital they used in that farms. You can imagine the amount of food rots that we have been seeing. And that is just not enough. You can now imagine the deeper consequences that are going to come out of food shortages because of all that food that is now going to waste that was supposed to end up at the tables of American people. So this is kind of a self-inflicted a self-inflicted problem. And then again, we are looking at the tariffs was, another thing. And Donald Trump would come out to lie and say that, tell the MAGA supporters that they are not getting market for their goods, good market, because apparently goods from other countries, especially China, were flooding the country, or China was flooding America with cheap goods. But that was false. That is really false. Just as false as when he lied that immigrants were taking American jobs. No, they were not. Actually, immigrants were taking the jobs that Americans are actually not willing to undertake. And so is the case with when he gutted imports, or when he doubled tariffs on the same. Now, China stopped exporting to America, and that also renders shortages in some of their products, because in a very interconnected world like we live in today, we need each other. Every country cannot just, no country is self-sustaining. America is far from being self-sustaining, a self-sustaining economy. And the moment an exporter like China withdraws all those exports to the American market, it was going to hit and bite very hard. But Donald Trump lied that, as if they were going to suddenly begin to manufacture everything that was coming from China to America. It was false. It was, on the surface, it might look like a good thing until you really think about the deeper consequences of it. It's the manufacturing process cannot just happen overnight, or is practically impossible in America. And then again, what was the other consequence of the tariff saga is that many countries, China on the lead, retaliated by also doing what? They either cut, or they doubled the prices of exports from the United States to China. Now, because you don't want us to bring goods to your country, so don't bring your goods to our country. And then they started looking at other different sources of the same products. And this has directly also impacted on small American businesses that were in the export business, small American farmers that were in the same business of exports, because the soybean farmers have incurred losses worth billions of dollars, because now they cannot sell to China anymore, because China has also fought back with the same kind of tariffs. Beef is that they are now importing from Australia, and that is directly impacting those American businesses, small American farmers, MAGA farmers, those white farmers. And now this is a very critical lesson. While these politicians might use you to for their selfish gains, never really you must question these kind of policies, because he was out there with his white supremacy chants, and you thought you were safe because you're white, until you realize that this whiteness does not even exist. What really exists is the rich and the poor. And now he has shown you that you can be white and still be thrown under the bus. Yeah, because it's all about the rich people. It's not now about white people. It is simply about the rich people. And that is why he can exempt taxes from people who are capable of paying taxes to the American economy. The rich people, the super rich, he can exempt from, and then overcharge the common the common everyday American. It simply tells you that he isn't just white, he is a rich white supremacist. And so you, as poor white, or middle income earners, white people, are just but pawns in a game. He just used you to gain power, to gain space into the White House. And after that, he got what he wanted. And now he's really identifying himself with where he really belongs, not just white, rich man. Yeah. So these policies are hurting the American people, and more so, the white people are really on the receiving end, because I guess it's because they did not expect this to happen to them. And yeah, so we wait to see what is going to happen, but a lot more is going to, affect more people. And until people learn that politics is just a dangerous, dirty game in which these people don't really think about the larger minority of people. They think about themselves first, but they can use you to gain whatever they want. Yeah, that is what I had for you in this video. Do share with me what you think about this in the comment section below. Give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button to be part of us. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.